Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Ryan with Degenerate Passive Income coming to you like we do every single Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time with the one and only AJ Brockman, our little DeFi date night. We have done this for months and months. I think we've missed maybe one or two in the last 6 to 8 months. Whatever, we're always coming here talking about the market. We're talking about Bernard bonds. We talk about DexFi, EarnFi, Honor versus Madness, EMP, everything, guys. We talk about it all. We talk about the transparency. We talk about the team. We talk about how the protocol is going. Nowhere else in the space do you get this weekly information, how things are going. You get people hiding behind a screen and AI voices and things of this nature. Not here. You get the founders, the co-founders, and the real information. So we need to talk about the market tonight. I've got a few questions in DM that I'm going to ask AJ as well from different investors. And please, if you have a question, put it in the chats because this is what we're here for. Answer anything and everything. You saw the title, FUD proof, which it is. You can't FUD Bernard bonds or DexFi because everything is on the bank. With that said, AJ, thank you very much for taking out time, the busy schedule of yours to listen to my stupidity and chat with me for an hour or whatever it ends up being every time. Welcome back.
Yeah, brother. Great to be here, Ryan, as always, and great to see everybody in the chat. And yeah, man. I mean, little market pullback this week, but we're not phased. I mean, that's the beauty of yield farming and what we're doing. I mean, volume is good. Obviously, principal is down a little bit, but that's also bullish because it's not a Ponzi. I mean, everything is there. Numbers go up, numbers go down. We're testing some major resistance on ETH. We were all high-fiving 2 weeks ago, but ETH almost at 5K. Now, obviously, we've seen a pullback, but all this is natural and normal. If you're new to crypto, you get a little more nervous. I've been here a long time, and I get numb to the 10 or 20% moves. It's all part of why we're here. So yeah, overall, I think we're looking really good. The fund value alone, has been tracking roughly with ETH. ETH being down about 15%. The fund value is down probably about 10. So we're still doing all right. And obviously the other really cool part too that some of you may have noticed is when the yield or when the principal goes down, the yield actually goes up. So APR actually goes up when the price of bonds go down. So that's another silver lining. And with all the volatility, we're doing a lot more volume as well. So we have stabled up a little bit more. So obviously, we want to have the capital working, but we've also stabled up. As you can see here, that USDT, Ryan, that's the stable position. So the USDC is the payout, but the USDT is our stable position. So we were all the new deposits that came in were instead of holding them in ETH, we deployed them to stables. And now when we do get to a bottom, we get a really great entry as well. So we're not actively trading bonds, but this is a great way for us to get better entries as we go. And so that will also really help, again, principal value against, a downturn in the market. So yeah, everything is working according to plan. And I think, we get some strong resistance around 3,900 ETH. So we may break down below 4. But there's just still so much bullish narratives that I am, again, nothing is guaranteed, but I would, and I'm not a betting man, but I would bet that we see all-time highs in another few weeks on ETH alone. So yeah, I mean, everything is still playing out as I hoped it would, for sure.
Right. Oh yeah. And I messaged you earlier today. I'm like, hey, what are you thinking about the low, the bottom of ETH? I'm thinking about doing a trade with some leverage. And you're like, well,
Yeah.
this could be, but be careful with leverage. And I'm a betting man. So AJ's not. So
Yes.
I
Yeah.
haven't
Right.
I haven't done anything yet. So we'll see what happens. I get a little stupid once in a while, but
Yeah,
you know,
well,
whatever.
Ryan lives up to the brand, degenerate passive income. So yeah,
Right. Yeah.
Ryan loves to go a little degen on some leverage. Yeah, so
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And if you remember, guys, I exactly 7 days ago, within about 15 minutes time, I put in 50,000. I bought $50,000 worth of bonds. So this has made me in the APR in USDC exactly $100 a day, like within a buck or two. So that's $100 a day that I've done nothing for. Obviously, I'm down in my position because of the price of ETH. I do not, like AJ said a little bit ago, I do not worry about that. I know what ETH is going to do. I mean, I shouldn't know; nothing's guaranteed, but I believe it's going to do. I believe there's $9,000 to $10,000 ETH. I think there's at least a double before we see any kind of you know bear market come. Everyone's talking about super cycles. They're talking about this and that, and I'm just excited about crypto right now because there's things like this that are giving me a 6.5% a month APR right now. 79% APR. A week ago, that thing was like 90 some. And this thing will reset tomorrow night, guys, because that's when the epoch is every Wednesday, right?
Yep,
So
absolutely.
that'll reset. And I think it's going to be a lot bigger than 79% because it's been killing the game, right, AJ?
Yeah, no doubt. So we have been doing really well. Again, you never know until it's deposited because again, those numbers are real. They're not made up. So, but yeah, in theory, we should definitely see a spike tomorrow, especially if we stay at these levels. If we recover, if ETH starts to recover tomorrow and then we deposit, it may be roughly the same. But again, I mean, we're definitely killing it. I send Ryan some screenshots every now and then. But one day last week we had like a $15,000 day, which is the most we've ever done. So yeah, the money's definitely coming in, and the volume and volatility help, with all the fees that we collect. And Ryan, one thing I want to bring up, which we may get into later, but everybody says, well, what's better, bonds or just holding Ethereum? And obviously holding ETH in your wallet, you get the full price appreciation up and down. However, had you held ETH in your wallet and now we're down, 20%, you're still down 20% on your ETH and you get no yield during that time. So obviously, you still have to know, and if you're a day trader, then that might be a better option for you than bonds, but that's really hard to do and hard to get right. I mean, if you knew to sell ETH at what you felt was a top, and now buying in lower, yes, could you maybe outperform bonds? Absolutely. But the whole idea is that this is the easy button. And when ETH goes back up, you're still getting that exposure. So, and on top of that, Ryan, with, $700 a week, that, goes to basically DCAing. Even if you compound all of it, you're essentially DCAing back into Ethereum and Ethereum related assets. So over the long run, even with the ups and downs, the APR outweighs the volatility, especially over, again, an entire year. If we're able to hold around these levels, which I think we will, even if we get into a bear market later in the end of the year, an average of 80% APR, that means that you almost double your ETH holdings in a year. So
Right.
again, when you put it in perspective, the volatility does, it hurts to see your NFT value down, 10% or 20%. But over the long run, we're super confident that it will work out. And the other reason that is the case is remember that 25% of all the yield is actually compounding in the fund itself. So we're also compounding, and that's already calculated into the APR, so you're not losing anything. And that alone will help with any erosion and helping the actual ETH token value stay healthy. So, and we haven't even talked about alt season. When we do get an alt season, that's when again all the other assets that we're providing liquidity with, that will skyrocket the the actual ETH value within the fund. So
Right. Yeah. And like you see, guys, these bonds were 0.091, I believe, on June 11th when we launched. Now they're 0.061.
yeah,
And the value is 252. And I think back then it was 275 or something like that. So yeah, the bond price is down. But I have a big bag in this from launch date, and that's only what, a little over 2 months now, July, August. Yeah, like 2 months and a week. um that thing's killing it. Like I don't know what to say, but USDC dropping into my wallet daily. These numbers don't lie right here, guys. I mean, this I have not claimed a dime, and you guys watched me exactly 7 days ago, within about 10 minutes now, put in $50,000 worth of ETH on base. And that's what it's made me. So those are real APRs. I ran the numbers before the video, and it was 79.86 average over the last 7 days. So
sure.
when you see 78.92, you can, it's within like 1/4%. It depends on the time you bought, all that stuff. But it's, the numbers don't lie, guys. That it's right in front of you. That's what I made in a week on my 166 bonds that cost me $50,000 US ETH on base. And I minted it right in front of you, 81 and 85 right there. And that's what we did. And when AJ said, your ETH is, you're holding it in your wallet, you're not gaining, any appreciate, you're getting a price appreciation, but nothing on top of it. This doesn't mean go sell all of your ETH, guys. This means,
Sure.
I'm diversifying some of my ETH into this. I have mass quantities of ETH on my different ledgers that I could put in here, and I probably will put more in, I want to save that. It's like my stocks that I have for the last 5 years, my Googles, my Apples, my Tesla, my Nvidia, all those. I don't worry about that stuff for 10 to 15 years down the road. It just sits there in my safe, and that's where it sits. I don't worry about it. I don't day trade it. I'm just waiting for an event to happen where all of a sudden I'm going to wake up one day and be like, okay, I'm never going to work another minute in my life. It's time to cash out. That's what it's there for, in my opinion. A lot of people have other opinions. You guys do what you want. But like
Totally.
I said, the numbers are right in front of you. I mean, everything on here is tracked. And I think we're getting some kind of website update. That might even happen the end of this week, AJ?
Yeah, brother. So some alpha for everybody. But before we get to alpha, one more thing I want to say. Ryan, what you said was so perfect, man. I mean, again, this is just a real yield, solution. But we always suggest that you are well diversified. You have some BTC, you have some ETH, all the big caps. But the really cool part about bonds is that you can take that yield and actually DCA into ETH. So even if you are worried about, the fund ratio value going down, or you're not willing to hold until a alt run, or you just want to cash out because it's basically a vehicle to be able to DCA into blue chips, and that also mitigates your risk over the long run too. So
Right.
again, no Ponzonomics. You are getting, again, and I'm not here to convince anybody. When you compound, you are getting, that exposure to ETH still and yield. But if people are nervous, then, you can definitely just take a portion and go right into ETH. So there's options for everybody. And yeah, I mean, in my opinion, knowing what I know and how we've been able to utilize bonds over the last 3 years, I compound as much as I can, just knowing where we're going and getting the yield on top. So
Right.
but yeah, and then as far as the alpha, yeah, so we have a full P&L coming as well. So there'll be that little box down there at the bottom. Will have 4 windows. It will show the price in both ETH and USDC when you minted. It will show what you have yielded from the actual, yeah, there you go, all these same metrics. So at deposit value, what is worth now, the yield, and the profit. So actually, the P&L. What isn't there is uh, the at deposit, because the at deposit is in already there, so it shows you underneath what it was at deposit on bonds. So yeah, what it's worth now, the yield that it's produced, the profit in terms of principal increase, and then the overall P&L. So yeah, that'll be here hopefully by the end of the week. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that'll be nice to have. And just, I mean, look at this, guys. We'll go over this in a little bit too. I'm up 75% in this. I wish I had $10,000 in this, but I only have 100. But
Yeah,
whatever. That's me. I did this for content. We'll go over that a little bit. And I'm glad you said talking about people selling. If you have some USDC, guys, swap your USDC for ETH right here. It's super cheap to do it right on MetaMask or Rabby, wherever you want to do it. And you can just hold it and send it or whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter. But, if you're concerned about that, you can swap it into ETH and save your bags and stuff like that. But when people sell, I had multiple DMs because I think it was 4 days ago now, if I remember right. Someone sold $20,000 worth of bonds. And I got like 8 DMs saying, hey, someone just sold $20,000 worth of bonds. What's going on? The first thing I thought to myself, thank you very much for the $2,000 that you left for us people. The OGs rewarded us with $2,000 that we are now earning on, that stays in the protocol forever. Right, AJ?
Totally, Ryan. I love it, man. Yeah. So again, unlike other protocols, because we are fully collateralized, literally, if everybody withdrew tomorrow, all the money would be there. Everybody could process the funds. No pauses, no lockups, no waiting, no nothing. Now, again, you may be a little down on your principal because ETH is down, but all the money that is shown on screen at this exact moment would be able to be cashed out. And again, like Ryan said, depending on the process of people cashing out, the very last person to cash out could have a substantial amount more than what they put in. So yeah, how it works is there's a 10% fee, and it doesn't go to us. It doesn't go to anybody, other users. It stays in the fund, and what that does is essentially allow you to earn on capital that you personally never deposited. And so over the long run, that increases APR as well, because there's more funds earning than what was deposited. And again, the 10% is to avoid people swing trading the fund itself, because without that 10%, even if it was a 1%, people are, if ETH goes up more than the fee, then you can just deposit and withdraw, and then all the capital is in limbo because we're not able to deploy that capital into the vaults. And so again, it's much more efficient this way, and it's a protection against some potentially malicious activity on the fund itself. So
Right. Yeah, for sure. And that makes sense. So I just thought about this now when you were talking about it. Is there such a thing as the last man standing is going to be making the most money here? Is that even like that? That is a
yeah.
thing when you think about it, right?
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, again, I would have to do the math, but what with what's in the fund right now, Ryan? So
638.
yeah, so 638. So if everybody cashed out tomorrow, and yeah, there would be an extra, say, 63 grand to the last person, after everybody's 10% is taken. So yeah, I mean,
You'd
obviously
be,
that's an
yeah,
extreme case, but
right.
yeah,
You'd be making
but
more than $100 a day like I am.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
because people cashed out, you're being rewarded.
yeah. In that scenario, Ryan, again, your position is about 50, well, 40, 50. So another 60. That means your APR would be like 200% on what you deposited. So pretty
Right.
crazy. Yeah,
Yeah. So everyone, please sell your bonds and just let me hang out in here by myself. So
yeah,
I'm
totally.
totally okay with that. But yeah, And like AJ said earlier, every single thing is tracked on DBank, guys. You just have to click this little button. That's what it's for. It's for 100% transparency. Here's the portfolio. We just looked at it. We got 43,000 in USDT, waiting for a good entry, which is probably going to happen in the next couple of days. They're probably going to deploy that bag if they feel it's the right time. This USDC is for payouts, and these are just some small numbers. Also, here is every single vault, and I counted them earlier, and there's 27 of them that they're in between 2 Sonic and 25 of these on the base chain. It gives the amounts and what pairs they are providing liquidity in. Everything, guys. That doesn't mean they're giving away the secret sauce. That doesn't mean people are going to start copying it, because obviously a lot of protocols don't know how to do ranges and don't have the tech that DexFi does, and which is unfortunate, but we do. And that's what makes this protocol amazing, because we earn up, we earn down, we earn sideways. As long as there is crypto and people are buying and selling and trading, we're getting paid. That's how this thing works, and it's all right here. It's not giving away the secret sauce. It's just showing what the vaults are in. This is 100% transparency. If you go over here and click on transactions, it shows when people mint. Someone just put in $1,755 hour and 6 minutes ago, bought themselves some bonds. Great. It shows when they do a contract interaction, when they fill orders, you know, when they do a swap. It is all here. You cannot hide one penny on DBank because it's linked to everything. Okay. The wallet is doxed also, which is, nobody else does because of security reasons. I call it BS, but that's just me. And you know, you guys know who I am. When people tell me something, I'm going to take it with a grain of salt and try to debunk it, and I'll lose sleep till I do, and things of that nature. But I mean, whatever. It's all right in front of you guys on Bernard Bonds, and it's just a matter of time before people, you know, see what's going on here between DexFi, the Treasury bonds, the Bernard bonds, and they're gonna want in. Like, there is multiple, and I see it in other chat groups. You know, people are selling their stakes over at PACA. They're giving them away at a 35% discount. They had to set a max on their contract because people were trying to get out of them for more than a 35% discount. So they set a max of 35%, and they're selling them. And multiple people are joining the Telegram group, and they're all over from PACA because they know that the team is doxed. There is AI involved. It's killing the game. And you know what? It's number one out there. I mean, that's what we're doing here. And it's just a matter of time before everyone flocks over. And we have 10 million in TVL, and everybody's laughing, and we're off to the races. What do you think, AJ?
Yeah, brother, I couldn't agree more, Ryan. I mean, again, you know, we pride ourselves in that transparency, and you know, we have been criticized over the years. We've gone through the journeys just like everybody else, and the big thing has been, you know, put your money where your mouth is. It's one thing to talk; it's another thing to show it. And so, when we did these bonds, we said, you know, we have to dox the wallet because we have nothing to hide. And yeah, it's been the best thing ever. And unfortunately, you know, people just don't know that there's better options out there. And we're quickly becoming noticed, put it that way. So
Right.
yeah, I think overall between Bernard and the other treasury bonds, I think we had about 200K deposited this week alone. And the number is just growing. The vaults overall, we are at all-time highs before we got the recent pullback. So yeah, we were 5.5 million, and that, you know, obviously under 5 is just because ETH and a lot of the assets are down. But the amount of vaults, the amount of users, everything has been blowing up, which is great. And yeah, man, we'll continue to be transparent. DBank is again a third party, you know, industry standard blockchain explorer to alter any of this information. And nor would be. I mean, again, we've always said that we're the good guys. Some people believe us, some people don't. But now you don't have to believe anything I say. You just look at the data on chain. So yeah, and it's been really, you know, a game changer. And I hope that all protocols moving forward will do this because it really helps, you know, with the confidence of what's happening behind the scenes.
Yeah, I mean, because like you said, you can't hide anything. This is what this is almost like a little bit kind of like being centralized and being 100% transparent and seeing where your money's at and seeing what's happening. I mean, I love it. I mean, the days of 2 to 5% a day protocols are over, guys. I mean, there's no daily protocols anymore. There's no garbage. I used to talk about that stuff on my channel. Okay. I used to do all that stuff. Yeah, some of them I made a little bit of money on. Most of them got wrecked, whatever. But that stuff is over. The stuff of guaranteed returns is over. You know, people are talking about, oh, I think if we get by with if we can get a 0.35% a day guaranteed return 7 days a week, I'll probably stay in. Now I'm talking about PACA finance again, or 0.30 or 0.35, or no, I need to stay at 0.4. Guys, it's not sustainable. Okay. I don't care, especially when you have people that need to sleep. All right. If there's no automation, it is not happening. I do not care how good of a liquidity provider you are. That is not going to work. You know, guaranteed returns do not work. I mean, let's just put it that way. We've been through this stuff, AJ, right?
Exactly, Ryan. Man, we've been through the game. We know what it is. In some earlier versions, we tried to do, some more guaranteed solutions. Obviously, we were really conservative, so we were able to hit that. But the amount of pressure that it puts on the system is unsustainable, and we've learned from that, and we've learned from others. And you're right, brother. I mean, anything that is a guaranteed return, even if it's 0.1%, which we've been beating, from day one by a mile. If it's guaranteed and the market crashes, everybody is screwed. And so we don't do that. We don't overpromise. We don't ever have to pause or pivot. All the money's there. All the money's earning. And if there is a black swan event in the market, then yes, yield and principal will go down, but you go in knowing that, at any time you can get your money out, no problems, no questions asked, and that we're fully collateralized. So again, it's just a much better and much safer, structure.
Exactly. And, the fund value, a lot of people, why is the fund value going down? I mean, this is compared to the price of ETH. When the ETH goes down, this goes down. We were, I think, at the last 7 days ago, this was over 720,000 bucks or something. It's just the price of ETH brings it down, along with the price of the NFTs, and that's what we need to talk about as well. I get a lot of DMs from people during the week. They'll ask me, why would I buy a Bernard bond at $252 and at 79% APR when I can go over here to DexFi and buy one for 230 bucks? It's always between $20 and $25 cheaper, and I'm going to get about 3 to 4% more APR. Why would I do that? I don't have a really good answer, but I like diversification. When you see this number right here stay up above, what, the treasury bond, these are both good, guys. Okay. We're not trying to bash either, but we just need to talk about why are people asking it and what is the proper answer. Maybe you could touch on that.
Yeah, right. No, absolutely, brother. So again, as everybody knows, Bernard Bonds is the best and most TVL and most successful white label we've ever done. We're adding a few more here and there, but honestly, we're pretty good with what we have on our plate, and the TVL's been growing anyway. So these white labels are what they are, and yeah, I mean there is no right or wrong answer. It just so happens the last 2 weeks, price has been a little lower and APR has been a little higher for treasury bonds. But I remember in the beginning, it was much more attractive for Bernard bonds. So the short answer is, as long as we're within a couple percentage points, they really are pretty much the same thing. And even the entries and LPs are very similar as well, because when we, redistribute, we're doing all this at the same time anyway. So, and to your point, Ryan, if you're in Bernard bonds, they have been holding up a little bit better in terms of ETH ratio, just because we were able to, buy a little bit more of the dips when this launched. So again, ETH was pretty high, relatively speaking, when Treasury bonds launched, and then we saw a big dip in the ETH, and then we launched Bernard bonds. So the entries are a little bit different, and that is why there's a little bit of discrepancy. But that could change tomorrow. I mean, we'll see on Wednesday. Maybe once we top up the distribution, this might be higher than Treasury bonds. So yeah, there is uh, you know, uh, 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 direct answer. It's all just based on the variables that you see. And yeah, I mean, I have both. I have Bernard bonds and I have Treasury bonds. So, and at the end of the day, it's all going into the Vault TVL anyway. So we're all killing it, together. And once we are fully paid in a compensation fund, then we have a lot more flexibility with APR as well. So again, in a bear market, if we have to adjust percentages, we will. I mean, the whole idea is to make this attractive for everybody, no matter what part of the cycle that we're in.
Exactly. And I'm glad you said that, about the compensation plan, because I do want to talk about that. And guys, I have both bonds too. I'm more into Bernard bonds than I am DexFi. Then that's my answer when I say, you know what, I don't know like the right answer, but we'll talk about it in the next AMA. I have both. I'm obviously way heavier into Bernard bonds. So my answer to them is get a little bit both. Split it 50-50, 75-25, whatever you want to do. It's going in the same TVL. It's going in the same vaults. It's claimed on the same day. It's just a white label service that was offered to me. And remember, Bernard bonds, a portion of the cut goes out to pay those who were affected in Bruno X investors, right? So, I mean, It doesn't come out of your deposit, right? It's just a generous portion AJ and Jacob decided to give me to hand out. So that's coming up this week as well. We'll probably go live and do something, spin the wheel. We'll do something. I was going to do it tonight, but we have so much to talk about. So we're going to do that maybe another night. Maybe we'll do it Thursday or Friday or whatever we got going on. Compensation plan is what I want to talk about. A question has come up, and it is a good question because I'm trying to understand it as well.
For sure.
One guy asked, what happens, or how does it happen? You guys always talk about if the TVL was like $10 million, the whole compensation plan, everybody would be made whole in like 45 or 60 days. My math, I don't understand that math because I'm figuring out what I'm getting for bonds, and it's going to take me like 4.5 years to be whole. That math didn't make sense to me. But could you maybe just touch on that, AJ?
Yeah, so again, I mean, I'd have to sit down and really do the math. I know, I mean, even if we are the largest holder in the compensation fund, even if we stay at the payout we are right now, just rough numbers, it would be more like 18 months, not 4 years. But that doesn't include price appreciation of ETH, the fund itself, or the APR. So there's a lot of different factors. So let me back up and go through it all. But as of right now, again, just to put some numbers to it, say we're doing roughly $10,000 a day in yield. 30% of that, again, because the majority of it's coming from Treasury bonds. So that's the biggest TVL. That goes into the pot. We're not taking any cut from Treasury bonds because until the compensation fund is paid. So that's $3,000 a day, which is almost 90 grand a month, something like that. So again, that's at a TVL of like around 3 million total with all everything. Again, my numbers are going to be a little bit off the hip here, but so that alone, again, depending on the entire compensation fund, if we triple that, now we're doing, just that cut is now, what, 400,000, or a little less, 300,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see it scales up really quickly, and the other thing to realize is APR will also go up because APR is calculated on the bond value. So if ETH is up, that means that when we earn fees on the LPs, the dollar value is also up in terms of ETH. So again, like if we're earning right now, say providing, again, just to give a concrete example, say we're providing LP for Bitcoin and Ethereum, and we get 0.3% on every trade between Bitcoin and ETH. We're getting actual Bitcoin and actual Ethereum from the fees. And so if it doubles, now we're earning double in terms of dollar value from those LPs. So again, it scales really quickly when we start getting into the 5, 10, $15 million. And at some point, I hope we have 100 million in bonds. So and then the numbers get just absolutely stupid at those levels. But and the other thing is we are paying off. And this is a post I made in one of the other groups. Because bonds are non-divisible, meaning you can't have a half a bond, you have to have a minimum of one. We are having to pay the smaller positions slightly faster than the bigger positions, and unfortunately, that's just the way that it has to be. But once all those little positions are paid, then all the big positions now get even more every month because we don't have that liability. So yeah, I mean, if you have $1,000 or less owed to you from the compensation fund, you are going to be paid out a little bit quicker. And it sucks for the whales, but over time, that snowball will really add up. And yeah, I'm very confident. Like again, if we can get to 10 million TVL and stay there with volume, we could definitely make a huge dent within 45 to 60 days for sure.
Right. Yeah, and that's what that's what I was saying too about the length of time and things like that. There's so many variables to do it, but I think that the bigger TVL and the price appreciation, if you take everything into effect, I mean, I would be super satisfied if it was done in a year and a half, 18 months. Like I would be, because you know why? Nobody else is doing this, guys. Nobody else is
Yeah,
saying, you know what?
definitely. I
My
was just gonna
bad.
say that. Go
Sorry
ahead.
about this amount of money, but I guess we're just done. Okay. This has never been done in DeFi. All right. Never. So this is a first. Everybody should be happy with what they're getting. I know I am. So, and I will be 100% transparent here, guys. I have the spreadsheet of what people are owed. There are 8 wallets out of 30. Okay, there's about 30 people in the compensation fund. 8 of those people deserve less than 0.1 bond per month on the 15th. 0.1. Instead, they're getting 1 bond, just to be fair, because they have to. It's not fair. So there are, I think, anywhere from 4 to 8 people that will be made whole on the next 15th, on September 15th. So that's great. Those people are kicked off. Here you go. Here's your money back. You are made whole. See you later. Thank you for everything. And they can stay in, they can leave, do whatever they want. And then everybody above that gets more bonds the next month. Okay. So there's a little bit of a snowball effect there as well. Once these, smaller holders are because there are a ton of holders under, say $5,000. And once those are paid off, the people right at the top, like the top 5 holders, top 7 holders, their number is going to get a whole bunch bigger. They're going to be happier. And like AJ said, it does kind of suck for the whales. But if you were them, you would probably feel the same way, And I mean, this is what I think about. I don't know what you think about it, AJ, but I just wanted to touch base on that and be transparent.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I get it, man. And again, the only other thing I want to bring up, which you said it as well, is obviously, we're making it right. I mean, we don't have any VC backing. We're foregoing all of our cut. We're making literally nothing as a team on treasury bonds until the entire compensation fund is paid, and we're doing it because it's the right thing to do. So yeah, the other way would have been, sorry, we're done. DexFi is out of business, and see everybody later, because somebody literally came into in our house and robbed us. I mean, that is the equivalent of what happened, and now we have to make it right. So yeah, I think you did a great job explaining that. And then last but not least, the other thing I think people forget is the power of compounding themselves. So again, if you're getting a ton of bonds, and you're compounding those, I mean, some people are getting 1 or 2 bonds a day, if
Mhm.
they have a big enough bag. And if you're compounding those, then that's when the snowball really gets out of control, for you individually. And it's not counted against you. So you're still going to be paid out what you were owed from the hack. But now, in 6 months or less, you already may be made whole from your original deposit, just from compounding your own gains. So that's another way to think of it too. And again, that's not, then do we get more money on top of that? So yeah, it's just a way of really managing your cash flow on what you feel is right, or what you need to do to pay bills, or move on, or whatever. I mean, again, if you're getting bonds and you want to cash out from compensation, that's okay too. So again, there's no convincing, no right or wrong answer. Everything is variable. But honestly, I mean, we're ahead of schedule, Ryan. If you would have asked me, a few months ago where we would be, to already have, 3 million plus TVL is incredible, and I truly think we can get to 10 by the end of the year. With all the other stuff happening. So
Right. Yeah, for sure. Excellent. Shout out to a couple of people in the chats. Thank you for commenting, guys. Kendall Thorns throwing flame emojis. He's always here. One winner. That's our buddy Scott Tixon from Salt Lake City, Utah. He's always here as well. If you guys want any hats, Bernard Bonds hats, DexFi, EarnFi, Honors Madness, shirts, he makes all this stuff, right? He doesn't make a dime off of it. He makes it, he sends it to you, ships it for cheap. Get a hold of him. He does a very good job. Henry Boy Outdoors. That is a gentleman named Eric. I just had lunch with him a couple of weeks ago. We've had lunch last couple of months. He is from my hometown. I graduated with him. Thank you for showing up, Eric. AJ says, I've been through all that. Please just give me the real yield, no BS. That is what we're doing here, AJ. So you're in the right place. Like, you've been through all the games as well. There's no games here. There's no drama. There's no FUD. It is FUD proof, like the title says, because if you have DBAG and Docs team members and everything else, you can't FUD it, okay? The APR is live. It shows you live. It shows what the price of the bond is. It shows what you're getting in USDC. Right here, I've made $100 a day exactly within a couple bucks, okay? Within 50 cents a day, $100 a day on my 50,000. So I'm down on principle, right? But
it's
I'm
up a little, Ryan. Just now, that 42, man, we broke back over it. So yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So
ETH must be
it's slowing
making
up
a
a
little bit
little.
of a run or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a
maybe.
little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, that everybody knows ETH's going to go up. I mean, not financial advice or whatever, but that's just my opinion that we're going to, we're going to do it. Yeah. 41.10,
All right,
so
a little bit.
yeah, a little bit, but it all helps, guys. When that thing hits 4,700, this will be like 56,000, right? So,
Yep.
I mean, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay to wait. So, Keith O'Brien says, hey, boys, he's always here. Where do we realistically see the bond prices bottoming out?
Yeah,
Good question.
yeah, that's a good question, Keith. So the short answer is, your guess is as good as mine, man. I mean, again, that is something that we can't influence or determine, or even know. I mean, again, if ETH continues to go down, and the alts that we're providing LP on continue to go down, then the price of bonds will go down. So yeah, I mean, again, bonds can't go to zero, because we have money in the fund and it's collateralized. But yeah, I mean, it could definitely bleed out until we find a floor. And then once ETH recovers, then bond prices go back up. So it's really much more correlated with the price of ETH. So Keith, if you can predict the bottom of ETH, and then that is the bottom of the price of bonds. So yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, a lot of people are saying, oh, I'm waiting for the dip. And I think we had the question last week, don't you think the price of the bond is too high? Well, if you're getting 7, 8%, a month, or, all the way up to 10 to 12, is there anything that's too high? If it was $1,000 a bond, is that too high if you're getting that kind of APR? I don't think so, in my opinion. But, to have one bond, which you can't buy a partial bond, if they're $1,000, there'll probably be less bonds bought. But I mean, that's why right now, if people are buying the dip, $253 for a bond, that's $25 less than what I bought mine for on June 11th. So I don't even look at that, to be honest. And maybe I'm dumb. Well, we all know I'm dumb. Doesn't matter. I look at this and I look at this. What am I doing? And that's what's going to be nice at the end of the week here. If we get it, the P&L, it's going to tell you exactly how much you're up or you're down. And you can just watch that number. You don't have to do any math. You don't have to do, I mean, we still say, still do the math on your to make sure everyone's, on top of their, P's and Q's. I mean, obviously, pay attention to what's going on, but I'm not going to take the time to do it because I've done the math on the APR. It's with 0.02% every single time. So I'm not going to question it, right? I trust the team and they're honest, and that's it. Keith O'Brien says, I just keep DCing, hoping we get back to 0.1 eventually. Yeah, 0.1. 0.1, we'd have to have. I mean, when altcoins take off,
exactly.
when altcoins take off, it could go crazy.
Yeah, and to expand on that too, Keith, I think it's a good topic. So what affects that price, right? We've talked about that a lot, but I just want to go over it one more time. So the actual ETH number, again, just forget about dollar value, but just look at ETH right now. What determines that is how ETH performs compared to the overall fund. And so we saw ETH on an absolute tear over the last month. Even now, it's still up, even on this dip. We're still up dramatically from the lows of what, like 2000, somewhere in there. Or yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, obviously that was before bonds launched too. But the whole idea is that we have been on an uptrend since the bonds launch. So when that happens, that forces the price ratio down. And like Ryan said, when we have an alt season, and now the alts that we're exposed to, and Ryan, I know you showed REI earlier. We'll talk about that one in a second, but it's been killing it. And so, yeah, when REI and Banker and all these other tokens start going up against ETH, then that value gets better and better. And then there's two other factors. Number one is when people leave. So we talked about that a little bit earlier. The 10% that stays in the fund, that will also push that value back up. And then last but not least is our compounding. So I mentioned earlier that we have a baseline of 25% of all the yield is compounded back into positions to help with a permanent loss or erosion or anything like that. And some of them we've been upping that a little bit and still maintaining the APR. So yeah, the whole idea is that we are balancing yield with capital preservation, and over time, the bond price in both ETH and dollar value becomes a lot less relevant because of the yield that you're getting. So again, those are just all things to keep in mind.
Right. I think he says, but still do have to compare to holding ETH because it should outperform that in the long run. Exactly. We talked about that earlier too, Keith.
Yeah.
I hold a huge bag of ETH on my ledgers, right? I don't have, I put some of this, I'm probably 100K, no, I'm not 100K in yet, 75K into Bernard bonds between my wallets. And I'm going to put some in more later this year. I'm going to wait for the dip like a smart person would, and I might buy some more. But I have my stash of ETH. It sits there, but that ETH is for stuff for the next bull run and the bull run after that, 8, 9 years away, 10 years away, right? Like this is the way I think stuff like that. So we talked about that, Keith, earlier.
Yeah, if you go back through Keith, we had a great discussion. But the short answer is, definitely keep both. I would never be all in bonds. I would never be all in ETH alone. And you can also use bonds if you are worried about the ETH ratio with the fund. Just use some of your yield to just buy ETH and hold it. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
but obviously the yield outweighs. I mean, again, even if we stay at the exact levels, average where we may double in a bull, but then come back down to where we are now and the end of the year, at a 78% APR, you're almost doubling your ETH bag, if you're in for a whole year. So
Right. Yeah. And I just looked when you were saying that, AJ, on June 11th, when we launched at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, ETH was 2773.
yeah, totally.
So yeah, and we're at 4,000 right now. So it's no wonder why the APR is down a little bit and things of that nature. So I would rather have the bull run come, because like AJ said before, when the bull run hits, we start going on, then the alt season starts, and millionaires are made during the alt season. We all know this. We've all been through this. I've made a ton of money on AVAX and XRP and Solana and all the top 10 blue chips and a few little mems. But that's when millionaires are made, if you're willing to take a little chance. But and I don't speculate on any crap coins or anything like that. But Gravy says, is the P&L dashboard coming to Bernard Bonds? Yes, Gravy, you just must have got here. We're hoping to have it by Friday. All right, you'll have the full P&L right down here, and it's going to look just like where are we at here? Where do I got to go?
Yeah, you're right. I think just a little lower. Yeah. Maybe
My
not.
position.
Because you're not in that one. That's why.
I'm not in that one.
Yeah.
I gotta go to my positions. Right here, my positions. We'll click on REI and go to P&L, and this is what we showed. This is what it's going to look like right here. It's going to show you what the price was at deposit, what it is now, and then your yield, which would be the yield in USDC that you've made, right, AJ? That's correct?
Yep, that's correct. Yep, exactly.
And the profit is the yield plus the appreciation of the asset?
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
Well, no, so the profit is the appreciation of the asset. So yield is yield, profit is the appreciation of the asset, and then P&L is combining everything. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, as you can see, I'm up 75.78% in 3 months. You know what? I'm going to take that, just on my little $100. And while we're here, we might as well go over this quick. Guys, you don't have to go to Bernard Bonds. You don't have to go into Treasury bonds. You can come right here and connect your wallet, and you can go into any of these vaults yourself by getting some ETH on base and providing liquidity in these vaults. If you like to do your own research and go look into coins and go into this, go into these vaults yourself, all the information is here. It's got the APY, the daily, the TVL, the liquidity. All the information is there for you. You research the coins, and you can do whatever you want. All right. I'm lazy. I'm not smart. I don't want to do that. So I spent $500 or $520, and I messaged AJ. I said, give me 5 coins right now because I'm making content. He said, well, I'll try these. And that's what I did 3 months ago. And here's where we're sitting, APY, 1,170% right now, 1.58. I mean, this REI has been absolutely killing the game.
Yeah, REI is on fire. That's an AI play. REI and Banker have been the all-stars. And again, I mean, the numbers are crazy. Like you said earlier, Ryan, the days of the 1% protocols are over. But some days, and obviously this all changes. Tomorrow could be, 0.1%. But some days you're getting over 1% a day on these, these vaults, which is crazy.
Right. Yeah. I've seen one day, I can't remember which day it was last week during the run, my $500, there it is right there, 513, made like $15 in one day. I'm like, what? Yeah. I don't even know what the percentage of that is, but it's a lot. So I was like, that's crazy, But usually it floats right around $1.50 to $2 a day on my 500, and I am totally okay with that because that's what 0.2 a day, I think, or point. But you got to remember, guys, that's 25% compounded back in, right? Those numbers, right? So
Yep.
I'm only getting 75% of the profit each harvest, and 25% is compounded back in. So you get a little bit of compound effect. Yes, I'm down on some, but I've made a ton of yield on them as well. Fartcoin and Anon. And the best thing is, you don't need to know what these. I have no idea what REI is, or Banker, or SPX, or Anon, or Fartcoin, and I do not care, because all I care about is APY and my daily. That is all I care about, because that's just me, and we all know how I am. I'm kind of lazy that way, and I want the smart button, the easy button, and it's called Bernard Bonds right there. It says right there, easy button yield farming. That's what it is. You just want to throw some ETH on base in and buy a bond for 0.0617. That's what you do, and that's the easy button. You don't have to check. You don't have to go and claim, and you don't have to go and watch the vaults and know what you're getting into. And I don't want to do that. The only reason why I did that in DexFi is because of the content, because I want to show people that it does work. So congratulations to the people who do it. There is a lot of people that are killing the game in the vaults in DexFi. I mean, I've seen some of the posts and I'm like, wow, that's insane, and good for them. If they want to spend time doing that, great. I don't have time. I don't have the smarts. I don't have the patience. So I'm on the easy button with Bernard Bonds. You can see it right there. I'm making $100 a day right now at the current APR. $100 a day on my 50,000. So I'm okay with that. I don't even know what the math is at. That's 0.2%. That's 0.2% a day net.
Yep, net,
so,
totally.
Yeah. So
yep.
I'm fine with that's 6% a month, guys. Okay, a little over 6. You're getting that a year in your 401. You're getting that in 5 years at your bank, and then you're going to pay tax on it. So just think about it that way. Whatever you want to do, it doesn't matter to me. That's the way I think of things. So
100%.
Yeah.
And there was So and again, just the whole point of bonds is that we utilize the vault. So just like Ryan said, some of them do 1% a day, some of them do 0.1% a day. And the whole point is that we're so well diversified, and Ryan showed it earlier. We have over 27 vaults on the D Bank. There you go, Ryan. So again, that's why people say, well, why don't we go all in on the 1% a day? Then APR would be crazy. Well, again, that could end, in a matter of hours. So we are very careful in the plan to deploy. We don't like to have again more than say 5 to 10% of the overall pool in any one asset. Like we try to really diversify. And if something's hot, then we'll definitely feed into that. But some of the vaults are underperforming, then we get rid of them. So there is definitely a strategy behind but all these are smart contracts. I mean, Ryan, the other thing you said earlier, which I love, our technology is the only technology that allows for this, because if I was actively managing LPs like this, I would be dead, because you can only do so much, and you have to sleep, and manually managing LPs outside of Dex vaults, you maybe can do 2 or 3, and the other issue is then you're forced to take tighter positions because you get greedy and you want that yield, and then you get murdered with impermanent loss. So with Dex vaults, you don't have to worry about any of that. The AILM will manage the ranges. All of our ranges are fairly wide anyway. Again, we don't get greedy. We want to minimize impermanent loss. And even with all that, we're still very competitive. Again, Ryan, you just said 0.2% daily. I mean, where are you gonna find that? It's very few and far between, for sure. So
Right. And remember, there's compounding. That's 25% compounded as well. So if you took that into effect, you're looking at a 0.25 or almost a 0.3. So I'm very okay with 0.2% a day. That's 6%, a hair over 6% a month. I'm fine with that. Anything above that is just a cherry on top, in my opinion. With that said, what else do we need to talk about, AJ, on Bernard? I think we covered everything in Bernard bonds.
Yeah, no, yeah, I think we're good. The alpha is the P&L will be coming, and everything is going according to plan. And if we see a bounce in ETH, again, I can't wait to see your position back up where you minted at, Ryan. So again,
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
all
I don't.
fluid.
Yeah, I don't worry about that. I just give me the yield. I'll worry about my position later because I know what ETH's going to do at the end of the day. You know,
Totally.
in 5-6 months, and I'm still, which doesn't matter to me anyway because I'm not selling my bonds. This number right here is going to well outweigh me. I could just as well hold the ETH in my wallet if I'm going to go and sell, because you get knocked 10%, guys, if you sell.
Totally.
Right. So the 10% stays in the contract. That was another thing we talked about, Keith. So I keep on getting asked. Someone sold $20,000 worth of bonds last week, and I got multiple DMs. Someone sold 20K worth. Oh my goodness! I told him, well, you know what? Maybe you should find out whose wallet it is, and if you know whose it is, thank them for the $2,000 that was left for the rest of us OG holders who are diamond handing our bonds, and that money's staying in the contract, working for us, and that is
100%.
what it is all about. It's not going to AJ, it's not going to Jake, it's not going to me. It's staying in there, earning, and that's $2,000. That's $2,000 more. That's like 8 bonds being bought right now. So thank you very much for selling $20,000 worth. Keep selling, whoever you are. Whatever. We need to talk about EarnFi. AJ,
Yes, brother. Absolutely.
I'm freaking stoked. You guys know, here's my bag. I'm going to be 100% transparent. I've had $50,000 in this thing the last 2 months. The first month I made $1,500, which was 3%. Since then, we went to a licensed broker and an insured broker. So we don't have to worry about waking up one morning and this offshore account's empty and they're gone. They pulled Sam Bankman-Fried on us and all this other crap. We don't have to worry about it anymore. Licensed, insured, working on getting the API hooked up so we can get the daily results for the trades. But you can see 50,000 USDC, we made 6%. I did a video of this on Friday. I told you guys I was going to withdraw it. I withdrew it. I took 3,000. I'm leaving the 50 in because I love 6% a month, just like I've been saying for the last hour and 2 minutes. And here it is right here. Complete withdrawal. My withdrawal is ready. Now, this is instant, guys. When you saw in that video, you go withdraw, they have to pull the funds and then they put it into the pool and then you withdraw. Usually it's done the night before because you have until tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, which is Wednesday, to get a USDC ETH bag in here. Otherwise, you're waiting another 26 days. All right. So let's go. I'm going to make sure I'm hooked up to the right deal here. Yes, I am. Right wallet. And I'm going to withdraw this. And this is instant, guys. Okay. This part. It's $1.50 in ETH, guys, but it's never this much. Everyone keeps panicking. It's $1.50. I got to wait till gas goes down. This is just an estimate. Okay. See, it's going up 152. It's usually sometimes between a tenth and maybe 20% of that, usually, what I've found. I don't care because I'm withdrawing $3,000, to be honest. Transaction is submitted, and I'm going to close that, and you're going to watch this go right into my wallet. I'm going to go to tokens, and you'll see it up here. The 3,000, well, there it is. Boom, USDC on ETH in my wallet, just like that. Now, I made $100 a day in this as well over the last 30 days. So between the bonds and this, I'm making $200 a day net. All right. I have friends working in the sweatshop factory down the road that are working for 75% of that work in 10-hour days, 5 days a week there, which is okay. The world needs people like that. I'm not one of them. I would rather be doing work on my real estate or whatever. And they got benefits and everything else, of course. But I did nothing for this $200 between Bernard Bonds and EarnFi. That's the beautiful thing. This is true passive income. All right. And you just saw it. This sucker closes in 11 hours and 53 minutes. The link is in the description if you want to get into EarnFi, guys. It is a referral link. It is the only referral link because 1% of the deposits goes to me and then I give it away live. You can track the wallet. I give it away to people who are affected in the Bruno X protocol, just like we do in Bernard Bonds. AJ is nice enough to give us 1%, and I give that away too. I don't care if it takes me 10, 20 years to pay people back. It's going to happen. It makes me sleep at night. It makes me feel good. That's what this looks like right now. A lot of people are saying, when are we getting more money out of the Bruno? I don't know. Okay. I do not know, but at least people are getting something. All right. I don't have to do any of this, but I'm doing it because it's the right thing to do. So AJ, tell us about EarnFi a little bit.
Yeah, man. No, you did a great overview, Ryan. So again, this is actually still in beta. We opened this up to you and a few of our OGs with our other EMP ecosystem. But yeah, it's a legitimate trading bot that we've trained on a bunch of different data. We've been using it internally, and it's been performing. So we were with an offshore account, but again, as you mentioned, Ryan, it made me really nervous that we weren't in control. And so because of that, we actually were really dialing back the efficiency of the bot as well. And so APR started to slip a little bit. Again, this is the same deal with bonds. Everything is variable, nothing is guaranteed. We shoot for 6% a month. Some months it might be less, some months it might be more. It just depends on how the trading bot does. And yeah, now we're on a different brokerage, licensed and insured, and we're able to utilize leverage a little bit better. So now we're back to where we want to be, the 6%, and hopefully it gets even better. I mean, again, in the beginning, 1 month we did like 20%. So the upside is huge. There is a 60-40 split in favor of the depositor after 6%. So we only make money if we're over 6%, which again is why we try to do it. And again, I mean, this is, like I said, still beta. We're working out the API to be able to show the trades. We do post the trades in the Telegram. I've just been so busy that I don't always do it every day. But I will, I'll send like 3 or 4 on a Friday and update everybody. So yeah, and it's working. Again, just if we find out that the bot isn't profitable anymore, or it's taking too much effort from the team, then everybody gets their money out and everybody's happy. So no Ponzi, no smoke and mirrors, but just a way to diversify against crypto, because we are trading Nasdaq and derivatives, that kind of stuff. So not crypto. So anybody again that is maybe a little bit scared of crypto going down and just wants to hedge their bet or diversify, then this will be a good option for you. So as with everything, I'm in all of the above. So Bernard Bonds and EarnFi.
Right. Yeah. And guys, it's $100 USDC minimum. There's like 10 or 15 wallets that have $100 in it. They're just trying it out. And they've made 12%, they've made 6%, 3%, and now they've made 6% again with $100. And they want to try it out for 6 months or whatever it is, and maybe they'll go in big, whatever. Stick with the $100. It doesn't matter. I'm in for 50. I know there's some other people who are in for big money too. If they withdraw, it makes no difference to the protocol, whether there's 50,000 in there or 550,000. Okay. It makes zero difference. So it's not like one guy DM me is like, EarnFi is a joke. It only has 148,000 TVL. It's been running for 2 months. I mean, I don't know how to respond to that. So I don't, because these are just fools and trolls. And I was just like, I don't know what you're trying to say, but whatever. It's just, but it's $100 minimum. You can't even go to dinner for that. We all know this, and throw $100 in if you want. If not, sit on the sidelines, watch me do it. I got 50,000 into it because I want to be diversified, doing that, bonds and everything else. It takes USDC on ETH. Okay. And once this timer hits 0, your money's locked for 26 days. All right. After that, you have 96 hours, which is 4 days, to decide if you want to compound, exit, take rewards, or do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want, and it is all fee free, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. There's no 10% charge that goes to the team. There's no any kind of 1% gas. There's nothing. It's a little bit of gas, and that is it. It doesn't get much easier than that. All right. I love it. It made me 6% last month, $3,000, doing absolutely nothing. So pretty stoked about that. So you want to get into that? Links in the description. I got 11 on almost 12 hours to do it. Then you got to wait another 26 days. Do whatever you want to the sidelines. Doesn't matter to me. So with that said, I think we're good on EarnFi. Maybe we should just check in Honor versus Madness quick. I know your last AMA, you released a 20-minute gameplay video, AJ.
Yes. Yes,
I was
brother.
pretty stoked about that.
Yeah. So yeah, no, yeah, everything's been going killer with Honor vs Madness. Again, everybody, we get the trolls over there too. It's an AI game. It's all made up. The money's gone. Blah blah blah. So yeah, we released a 20-minute video of the entire gameplay loop. So yeah, it definitely go check that out. You'll see the caliber of this game. It is a AAA title built by a studio in Thailand that's worked with Disney and Netflix. It's very, very high quality. And now that we have a playable alpha of the game, we're now in meetings with publishers. So we had 2 publisher meetings last week. They're shopping it around Asia now. And what that means is basically we get a partner that will put up money to finish the game and make it an actual full release. But more importantly, they have distribution. So now HVM can now be a Web 2 game and a Web 3 game, where if you want to own your assets, you play on chain. If you don't care about that and just want to play a fun game, that all that revenue from the Web 2 side will support the GG token. So the economics are really solid. We're getting there, and we're working on a pack sale as well. So if you want to play the game or speculate on the cards, the value themselves, we'll be ready to release that soon. If you're in the pre-sale, you already got one of the starter packs that will have a legendary guaranteed. But yeah, if you missed out on that, or you just want to buy more, we'll have a pack sale hopefully sometime in September. So
excellent. Yeah. So things are clicking along. I'm excited about that. I come in here, what is it, the 19th? So I've got 13, 12 days before I'm going to come here. And I'm going to claim another 465,000 tokens. And I'm going to go down here and stake them for another 365 days. You can see right here, I've got 4.1 million staked here, getting 3.25% a month. And I've got 3 million staked here, getting 12.5% a month. This was the pre-sale here. So I've got whatever that is, 7.2 million tokens now working for me. And let me tell you, when this thing hits a dime, you probably won't see me again because I'm gonna quit doing everything. So I'm stoked, guys, for Honor versus Madness because it is real and it's a real company that's building it. And now I'm more excited about the publisher and the distribution stuff like the ball is rolling. Once again, the team has continued to adapt, continued to build. And I mean, look out, Gods Unchained and Splinterlands, because Honor versus Madness is coming and it's coming hard. I'm excited. I probably won't play it. I'm not a gamer. Maybe AJ will have to DM me one night. He's, you got to try this out. Maybe I'll play him on. I'll probably whoop up on him.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious. Right, let's do it. We're gonna do that.
Yeah. So I mean, that's it, guys. That's what we talk about here. Is anything involved around AJ and his team? We got Honor versus Madness. We've got Bernard Bonds. We've got DexFi. We've got EMP, EarnFi. That's all we talk about here. Is because everything is transparent and everything is it's out there to see, and no one's hiding behind a screen. He's right in front of you guys. All right. So with all that said, we're an hour and 16 minutes in, AJ. I think we got pretty much everything covered.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any other questions before we wrap it up. One more bullish thing to end on, Ryan. I think again you have to look, but so 53,000 here, and I think 253,000 paid out in treasury bonds. That means we've paid out over 300 grand in yield since we started. So that's a pretty amazing metric for sure. So
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's over 300. Where is that
mhm.
again?
Yep,
Uh,
right there at the top, bonds next to vaults.
oh yeah, yeah,
Yep,
yeah,
yep,
right there.
and then so
Yeah,
yeah, what
257,000 paid out here, and so yeah, that's 310,000 paid out.
amazing, man. Yeah,
So
unbelievable. Yeah,
those are real numbers. Okay, so that's real numbers, and that's in what, since the beginning of June.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the last week of May. So that's over 100,000 a month. June, July. Yeah, over 100 grand a month is being paid out. So this is real yield, guys. Okay, you click the little button, and everything goes to D Bank, and you get to see everything. Okay, nobody else is doing this. Nobody else is on camera in front of you every Tuesday night where you can ask questions and talk to the co-founder and the founder. Everyone else is hiding behind the screens. They're on pause. They're scared. They don't know what they're doing. They don't have the technology. We do right here at DexFi because we trust the team. We trust the process. Everybody's going to be made whole within a little bit of time here on the compensation fund, and then it's off to the races. I mean, APR could go up even then too. We could get like we said before, hire more devs and to do bigger and better things. I mean, sky's the limit, guys. I'm excited about it. So let's go. AJ, I want to thank you for joining and taking busy time. I know you're busy and you got a lot of things going on. So thank you for joining me as well for the last hour and 18 minutes. It's been great. So with that said, guys, I hope everybody has a great rest of their Tuesday, and we'll see you in the next one.
Cheers.